Students, here's your tutorial on creating different types of cams. This one will look at the hexagonal cam. Remember from your activity that you're going to be assigned a different nominal diameter. For all of these, I'm going to make all of these or create all of these at a nominal diameter of 3.5 inches, which isn't one of your solutions, so you'll just have to take what I did and go from there. So we're going to create the hexagonal cam for this first tutorial. So for here, it is just a 6-sided part, and we can see we have some dimensions here: greatest radial dimension, least radial dimension, and we have some half-inch diameter, half-inch diameter. So since I'm going to use the diameter of 3.5, I'm going to create this now. So I'm going to go to New. I'm going to select a new standard part. Once Inventor loads, we're going to go to Start Sketch, and I'm going to select one of these upright planes like the XY plane. And I'm going to draw a hexagon, and this is really easy. Inventor already has a tool for this. It's inside the rectangle tool, so if you click the arrow down and you go to Polygon, and then you can just identify the number of sides. In this case, 6 is fine. And don't worry about the inscribed or circumscribed option right here, because we're going to put dimensions on this anyways. So always start your sketch from the center, click out, and we can right click OK. So now it's kind of lopsided and we need to fix this. So we need to fix this a bit for our picture. So if I click on the dimension drawings here, we can see that there is a top face, and this top face is horizontal. So I'm going to just go ahead and add a horizontal constraint to this line, and this will allow me to keep it from essentially moving. I can change the size of it, but I can't actually rotate this piece. Next, I'm just going to put in what the dimension is. In this case, from this outer vertex, there is a ½ inch of the diameter to the center. So since I'm using a dimension that is not assigned to you, I'm using 3.5. Half of 3.5 is 1.75. So I'm going to grab my dimension tool. I'm going to click the center to my vertex. I'm going to go up, and this is going to be 1.75. Looks like it went away. We just got to zoom out because we're just a little too close. And our dimension, all our dimensioning is correct. We are fully constrained. So I can now move on. I'm going to select Finish Sketch. And just zoom out a bit again. Go to here, and what it wants is a 3/16 inch diameter hole right in the center. And it is a 3/16 inch thick material. So to do this, I am going to extrude. And once I extrude, it's going to calculate what is calculating some containment, whatever that means. But right here, I'm going to go 3/16 of an inch. I can just type in 3/16 because it's an inch profile, so whatever you put here for numbers, it just automatically says that those are inches. So I'm going to hit OK. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create where I'm going to place a hole. So this is kind of a new feature that you haven't learned yet, but I'm going to start a new sketch on this surface. When I start that new sketch, I do have a point right here, or a identified center. But I'm just going to go ahead and put a point right there. So I can select this point tool and click there. It's hard to see, but that point is there. If you kind of put your cursor over there, you can highlight it. Zoom out. I'm now going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to select the hole command. When I select the hole command, since it's going to place it from the sketch, it automatically finds it, and it's going to create a hole for us. And now we just have to double check what size that hole is. It is 3/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to make sure that my hole diameter is 3/16. Got a little bit smaller there. And my termination is essentially when does the hole end? And I want this to go throughout the entire object. So I'm just going to keep this at through all. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I have now created the hexagonal cam for your designing cam.